Hello everyone, Phoenix61 here with your Legends news for the week. Halloween event is now live. There is a different game mode that's player versus enemy kind of thing that you can dive into. It is kind of fun. I do enjoy it. We'll talk about this in a little bit too, but the rewards for it seemed a little meh. This year. There is no event currency like there was last year, right? There was like shadow coins or something that you could earn. But yeah, so we're looking at the Leviathan ship that is the Halloween event. Right, this year has been the year of returning collaborations and commanders and events and all that other stuff. But to start off, there is a new bureau project, the Castilla. I'm sure I gotta be close to saying that, right? Right, but it is the legendary version of the Spanish cruiser tech line, which of course is now available as free to play, right? You can grind through the tech line now. But yes, you do get the ready rack mechanic with the Castilla. It's 2 shots base, and then if you use the commander from the calendar event from the last update, you could get a 3rd shot in there, right? But so I'll just like blaze through the stats here. So if you're interested in any of these things, right, hit the pause button. But there's kind of a lot to cover, so I want to kind of get through this and check out the store and give my thoughts and feelings on all of that other fun stuff. But not, it's exactly what you would expect, right? If you played any of the Spanish cruisers previously, it's just the next one up, right? Like it's just the legendary variant, right? So if you're interested in that, start that, right? There's no rush on it. If you don't like the Spanish cruisers, don't even bother, right? But yeah, so the Spanish cruisers are now available full access as of this morning. So we will all be working on grinding that for a little while here. There is a new calendar event. This to me is not as important as last time's calendar event because the ultimate reward here is a Commander Geist, which is just kind of visuals. There are a lot of like fall big crates in here and, just other, random little rewards for doing each thing every day. So that's fine. Like that's all worth it when you do happen to play. But if I miss too many days, I'm not going to be upset about it this time around. Right. And then, yes, there's a new marathon event. So those of you familiar with, from earlier this year, there was the Hindenburg, which was a legendary German cruiser, right? Now it is what looks like a French battleship, but it looks like it's going to have the Pan-European flag, right? So, yeah, and it looks fine. Like it looks like a typical tier 6 French battleship, right? But it does looks like for a tier 6 kilometer range secondary firing range as the base, right? So that's without any commanders or modifiers. So it looks like you could maybe do a secondary build with it, right? Whether that's the best thing to do, we will have no idea until I actually can play with it. Nice low in the water citadel like you would expect from a French battleship, right? So it is kind of nice to see, like some of these, what looks like a French ship to be on a different country, because then you can play around with different commander builds, I guess. But otherwise, I'm not too excited about it. I'll grind through it and get the ship. It does look like that through the 3 updates that you can, get that you can play this and earn ship parts is the currency that you need, right? It does look like across the 3 updates, and they did have this in the patch notes, right? Wargaming had it in the patch notes that you could get it for potentially completely free, right? Without even buying Admiralty backing. There was this little intro to it as I signed in to the, to the marathon event, right? But the ship looks cool. It's got a cool skin on it, right? So very winter themed, right? So I'm thinking this is going to be, right? It's going to be like December or January, right? When you're able to actually like unlock the ship. And so, yeah, be middle of winter, right? But yeah, along the way, there are some decent rewards. A few like Santa crates I see in there, and maybe those are some coupons. So we'll have to see. I was trying to see if it would let me like click on these, but it wasn't. Maybe I needed to push check rewards. I don't know, but it wasn't letting me like go and like highlight them each, right? But yeah, anyway. So, and then a new campaign, of course. This is going to be a really short one, just like the last one, right? 4 weeks total here, because they're obviously going to want to get into their holiday of updates as the end of the year approaches here. So I went ahead and picked up Admiralty backing. Obviously you don't have to do that, right? It's an American destroyer, right? So if you're not if you like the regular tech line of American destroyers, you're gonna like Laffy, right? Like, so that's just what it comes down to. It's very, very similar, right? Like, yeah, I think it's a Sumner class, right, ship, right? And you do get a heal, you also, or well, 2 heals, right? And then unlimited smoke screens, right? A little bit different on the smoke screen, a little bit shorter duration and a little bit quicker reload on it or cooldown on it. And then unlimited charges for that. So that'll be, just a little bit different than what most of the other American destroyers are. And then again, here blazing through the stats. So push pause if you're interested, right? And there's your armor, right? Exactly what you would expect. And there's your sort of overview, right? Get reloader, heal consumable, agile, right? So looks good. I'll play through the campaign and pick that up, and I'll try and put some videos out when we unlock it. And then there's these are the missions for the Halloween event, right? So and like normally, last year what it was is you would get some of the event currency, but they're not doing that this year for these rewards. So it's like camouflages and symbols, right? So I don't like from the looks of it there. I don't really care. Like, right? I'm gonna go in and probably play it for fun for a little bit. But ultimately, I didn't see anything there. You just like had to play it. But yeah, there are some rewards for each time you get your first win at each level when you actually go to play it. So those maybe were a little bit better. But yeah, and then this assignments here, right? So this is your one of your ways to earn some more ship parts. There were also some in the campaign, I believe, as well, right? But you can get a good chunk here right off of the bat on this first week here. So, yeah, so they're them saying that you'd be able to get the marathon ship for free. Looks very, very believable and doable, right? So, but yeah, let's dive into the Halloween stuff. Wargaming has been doing this where it's a $10 package in the store. Basically, it's kind of like hinting to you to get this, because you get the 2,500 doubloons, which gives you that's the exact amount you need for Admiralty backing for the campaign. So you could be doing your $10 for a campaign, and then you also get a couple of the containers. I'm not picking it up this time, right? Because it's just like, I'm not too excited about the containers, so I had some doubloons already, right? So there is this free package in here for this fat electrician commander guy. He's like another content creator, and then you would get Texas, but as a rental, so the little clock down there. So Tier 4 American battleship Texas, I think you'd get it for a week. So I'll pick up this package. You get some American Stars and Stripes camouflages too, right? Which is always fun. Love putting those on my American ships. And then don't forget your free crate for the day, right? And then I didn't see anything, special in here in the offers section. So we'll go through the Halloween stuff. As always, you can spend a whole bunch of money on containers. I do not plan on buying any of these. I'm not planning on spending balloons on any ships or containers, right? For that matter, right? So I don't think anything in here is that great. I do like Blazing Dread, and I did get it last year because you were kind of, depending on how you played how you played your cards or whatever, right? Like you had this balance of, playing missions for free and earning the event currency, which they're not doing this year, right? So, and then I had to spend a little bit, right? I don't remember how much it was, right? But yeah, I had to spend a little bit more on like containers or something that would give me some additional amount of the currency, and then I was able to get Blazing Dread. But it's Blazing Dread's my favorite because I like the Japanese cruisers. It's basically a Tier 7 Japanese cruiser with a smoke screen. So that's that. Shorenhurst 43, Tier 7 German battleship. I think I don't have it. I don't plan on picking it up. I don't think it's a must-have, right? But it does have a base firing range for secondaries of 7 kilometers. So you could have fun with a secondary build with that ship. I have several other Tier 7 brawling German battleships, right? So I don't care about, right? And then Leviathan is basically an American North Carolina battleship. So if you like North Carolina, you'd like this. I think it might have slightly different stats, but if it is, it's not that, it's not that big of a deal to me, right? I don't think it's worth that much doubloons, right? And then Rasputin, same thing here. This is a Russian battleship tier 5. This is almost exactly like Ismail. So if you like Ismail, you'd probably like this ship, right? But very, very easy to hit Citadel on these guys. So you gotta watch your angling for sure when you play these things. But yeah, I like I said, I don't have it. I don't need it. I'm not planning on spending doubloons for it, but you do you. If you really like that ship, right? It does say secondary reach on there in the overview, and I went and looked at and it's like the base is like 5.2, which is okay for tier 5, but I wouldn't build into that. Perth is a Commonwealth cruiser. It's just like most of your other Commonwealth cruisers that you might already have, right? You get torpedoes, you get smoke screen, they're decent. It's tier 5, right? Have fun with it. It's another one, right? Like, it's probably good. It's probably fine. I don't need it, so I'm not spending money on it this time, right? I'll see what comes around for holiday this year and maybe buy some like Santa crates or whatever, you're the equivalent, whatever. And see what happens there. Now, I do like Nicholas, right? Tier 4 American destroyer, because you get 4 torpedo launchers of 3, so 2 launchers on each side. They're a little bit short range, but you have to remember it's also tier 4. But if you go and look, like, I use this ship quite a bit for my tier 4 premium supplies, as you can see. And so when I'm playing 4 premium supplies, I'm trying harder to get the win, right? So you can see I had an 82% win rate. So I like the ship. It's another one of those things where it's like, if you like American destroyers, you'll like Nicholas, right? So it's just these are all like past Halloween event ships just coming to the store for doubloons this time around. For those of you that might be newer to the game. Mikoyan is a little bit unique. I don't think this was from Halloween, but they're selling it here because they did make a hefty improvement to the main battery reload time. This was kind of always my joke meme ship of I hate this one the most. So I never liked this ship. I kind of hated it, right? But when we got it, I had to play it just to kind of see how it went. But now they've significantly improved the reload time on it. So I might play around with that. But again, it's tier 4 cruiser. It's a Soviet cruiser, right? So if you like Soviet cruisers, you probably like that. But the reload is quite a bit better now. So maybe it's good. We'll see. But yeah, Queen Mary, also a returning past Halloween event. Tier 4 British battleship, right? So if you like British battleships, you'll like this one. I don't think there's anything special, unique about it. I don't think it's crazy strong or anything, right? I would take Nicholas, right? If I wanted to spend some doubloons this update, Nicholas would, I'd buy the tier 4 American destroyer would be my pick, right? If you had to spend something. Halloween camos, I wouldn't waste doubloons on camos, right? Like, that's kind of silly to me. And then there's packages of commanders and ships and skin, so really quick blaze through these, right? Again, I think, here's one that I have that I probably got free out of a container, right? He's a Hellsinger, right? A Japanese destroyer commander, right? So I don't think there's anything crazy here. His base trait has to do with, like, increasing your smokescreen radius. And then with a lot of these, older, these are older returning Halloween event or whatever, some other event commanders that are coming back into, they're selling them again in case you missed them or you weren't playing, right? A lot of them just have the perks are like jumbled up and in different rows than what you would normally expect, right? So Victor Einstein, I don't think there's anything special about him. I personally still prefer the free-to-play commander for my American cruisers, Norman Scott, right? Like, so and then Hyde is a German brawling battleship commander. I have several others of those that I prefer over him. And I don't think he's that much better than the free-to-play ones. But, base trait is more maximum HP, which, if you're trying to, 6% more on a higher tier battleship, right? That could be pretty significant. His kind of unique-ish perk has to do with ricochet angles. So I wasn't too excited about that, right? He's got choices, like, he's fine. I don't need him. I don't need him. He's fine. I do have this German destroyer commander. I've had her for a while and actually just recently started playing around with her. She, her unique thing is this Mosquito Brutes perk, which makes your torpedoes a little more stealthy, harder to detect, and then significantly improves the torpedo launcher reload time 30% more. It does the trade-off there is the damage reduction in torpedoes, but with torpedoes, a lot of times you're trying to trigger floods, so I feel like that balance is worth it. But like I said, I haven't played with her that much yet, so I don't think she's a must-have, but that would be kind of the way you would go with that. And then this person's, right, got, base trait, better turret traverse or whatever, boomsticks, right, better main battery reload, and better torpedo launcher reload, right, another German brawling battleship commander. So, if that's your play style there, right, you could go with that. But like I said, I have plenty. I don't need her. I've got plenty of others that I like more. So, and I've honestly don't have the commander materials to rank all these guys up either. So, yeah. And then this guy is a Soviet, right, a Russian cruiser commander. This Fear My Roar perk gives you better shell grouping and dispersion at the cost of detectability, at the cost of concealment. So I don't know, like for, 3% more, accuracy in comparison to using fixated, I don't know that it's worth the worst concealment, right? So I don't care about him. This is another Japanese destroyer commander. He's got this unique perk of more torpedo speed, but significantly less range. So have at that if you're, I guess a really aggressive Japanese destroyer player. I don't know. I don't use him, right? Like, so Vincent Mordoff is fine. I do use him on some of my American destroyers. His base trait has the better, a little bit better reload, but on a destroyer, it's already pretty good, right? You've already got pretty quick reload, so you don't notice that too much. But if those of you that want the fastest reload possible, right, he's kind of the way to go. It is nice you could put that base trait as inspiration in other places. But like I said, I don't think he's that much better than what's free. So if I didn't get him from a free crate in the past, I wouldn't be spending the $20, right? The 5,000 doubloons on him. I don't think that's worth it. This guy does have he's a Soviet and, Russian destroyer commander. He does have a base trait for faster turret traverse speed, which is pretty slow on the Soviet destroyer. So that is kind of nice. But yeah, he's good, right? Like he's fine. You could use Rather Be Torching, and then in the first row, he has Quick Fix, which kind of replaces your Unstoppable. So you get kind of the best of both worlds there with him. But I'm not a huge fan of the Soviet destroyers in the first place. So, right, so if it's, if you don't play those ships, I'd say it's not, a lot, then to me, it's not worth picking those things up. And then those other guys were just Commander Geisses, right? So they don't have any effect. And then these are all the skins available in the store again. And, 5,000 doubloons is $20. I don't think a visual in this game, a visual only thing is worth $20. But if you really, really love one, or it's like, oh, that's my favorite ship, then, then I get it, right? And then we'll talk about the containers, right? Because all of this stuff that we just went through, yeah, it's going to cut out here for a second. It used to not do that to me, and then there was an update to something. But anyway, so yeah, all of that stuff that we just went through are, have a chance drop from the Halloween 2025 containers, right? So we'll show the percent chances here, but if you look at the top here, all of this stuff are like credits and XP and promotion orders and mostly camos here, right? That all adds up to what, like 60, 70-ish percent. I suck at mental math, right? But so that's what you're most likely to get for each one of these things that you open. And then it's 5% chance for any of those Halloween skins that we blazed through, right? So just visual. And then 5% chance for Commander Geist, which is those are just visual changes to your commander as well, have no effect on gameplay. And then 5% chance for any of those Halloween commanders that we did kind of just blaze through. And then there's small percent chances for some of the ships, right? So 1% chance for Blazing Dread or Shorenhurst 43. And then what's nice about these commanders, right? If you do have something already, you won't, it removes that from the loot pool. There were a bunch of fall big crates. These have been around for years. In the calendar event and some of the missions, right? So these are mostly just regular in-game stuff like credits, camouflages, boosters. The nicer things are promotion orders, premium days, commendations, and insignias. There is a 0.4% chance for 1,250 doubloons, right? And then there are a few ships that you can get out of this, none of which I am like, none of which I am like, you must have these, right? So I wouldn't go crate farming for sure, right? Like, but that's me. But yeah, like I said, I don't plan. I'm probably going to spend, other than the Admiralty backing, I'm spending $0 on this this update, right? We'll open whatever free crates we get, right? I'll open those on live stream when I'm hanging out with you guys, but otherwise, all right, I don't think anything in here is a must-have, right? So all the ships are kind of returning. You know, they're all past ships. Nothing's game breaking. Nothing's crazy, right? So, but yeah, that's gonna be our video for the day, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, right? Like, let me know if you guys think what's the best thing in here. If you're annoyed, I'm a little bit annoyed that there's nothing like that's new, right? But that's been the theme for this year, so I'm kind of hoping, next year they up their game and we see some fresh stuff coming in. We do have there is the Spanish cruisers, right? So that's probably what I'll be focusing on this update, and then we will play through some of the event, right? The Halloween event's kind of fun to at least do a few times. So yeah, we'll check that out. But yeah, make sure you're following the channel. Leave your thoughts and feelings in the comments section. Make sure you subscribe, right? My icon pops up in the bottom right. And otherwise, those of you that are following, we'll see you guys tomorrow.